The Charfield Train Disaster of 1928 and the Mystery of the Two Children, a train racing through the darkness. On the early morning of October 13, 1928, at precisely 5:20 am, a thick fog blanketed the quiet village of Charfield, Gloucestershire, England. The Bristol night mail train cut through the dense mist, its wheels clanking against the iron rails as it pushed forward into the unknown. Engineer Henry Dington kept his hands firm on the controls, his senses heightened. Something about this morning felt different. The air was heavy, cold, and unsettling. He had operated this route many times, but tonight, an unshakable feeling of unease crept over him. The fog was denser than usual, swallowing the landscape in an eerie white void. The lamps on the train barely pierced the thick mist, turning the journey into a perilous game of trust in the tracks ahead, trust in the signals, and trust in his fireman, Frank Want. Frank, check the signal up ahead. I can't see a thing in this fog. Dington shouted over the roaring engine. Want wiped sweat from his brow, momentarily pausing from shoveling coal, and leaned out the window. His eyes scanned the darkness until he spotted the signal through the fog. A green light. All clear. Green light. He confirmed and returned to his work, but Want had made a critical mistake. The thick fog had obscured the true signal. Seconds later, a dark silhouette emerged from the mist. Dington's heart dropped. A stationary train sat dead ahead on the tracks. Collision and inferno. Damn it! Brakes? Brakes? Dington pulled hard on the brakes. Metal screeched, sparks flew, but the train was moving too fast. There was no stopping now. Then, impact. A deafening explosion shook the earth. The collision sent wooden carriages splintering into the air, as a massive fireball erupted into the sky. The train had been carrying gas-powered lamps to illuminate the compartments. Upon impact, the gas cylinders ignited, triggering a catastrophic inferno. Flames engulfed the train, rising 5 meters high. The intense heat shattered windows, warping metal and consuming everything in its path. Inside the train, sheer panic took hold. Passengers screamed, some clawing at doors, others jumping through shattered windows. The heat seared their lungs, turning every breath into agony. Villagers awoke to the explosion and rushed to the scene. The first responders battled against the monstrous flames, pulling survivors from the wreckage. Thanks to their efforts, many passengers were saved. Yet, out of the 60 travelers that night, 16 never made it out, and among them lay the two greatest mysteries of all, the unidentified children, the children no one claimed. In the aftermath of the disaster, railway officials contacted families to identify the deceased. One by one, bodies were claimed by grieving relatives, except for two. A boy and a girl, young, no older than 12 and 6, found clutching each other in their final moments, but no one came forward for them, no parents, no guardians. It was as if they had never existed. The woman in the black dress. By the 1950s, whispers began to spread throughout Charfield. Every year, on the anniversary of the crash, a mysterious woman in a black dress arrived at the cemetery. She would stand silently before the children's graves, her shoulders trembling as she placed fresh flowers upon the stones. Villagers watched from a distance, but none dared to approach her. Some believed she was the children's mother, too guilt-ridden to reveal herself. Others speculated she was a distant relative, and then there were those who thought she was simply a stranger, who had taken it upon herself to grieve for the forgotten. But one day, she stopped coming, and with her disappearance, the mystery of the two lost children remained unsolved. Even now, nearly a century later, the small, unmarked graves still stand in Charfield, and the question remains, who were these children, and why did no one claim them?